Welcome back to STL Fabrication. Today we're going to be working on a 78 Chevy 4x4 pickup. We're going to be building a radiator for it and some other cool parts. So this is a kind of a long-time customer of mine. He's brought me a few other projects to work on. This one specifically is going to be a replica of his high school truck that he drove around. So it's a 78 Chevy 4x4 pickup. He swapped a pretty well-built 427 big block in it. It's a frame-off restoration. So while it's here, it's going to get headers, radiator, some coolant catch cans, full exhaust system, and possibly some amp steps that'll be modified to the truck. So currently the truck still has the factory style radiator, and so we're gonna have to remove that first thing. And then I order custom cores that are made here in the US, so we'll set that core in the core support itself and see how much room we have on each side to build our end tanks and our mounting surfaces. It's also getting a tranny cooler in one of the tanks, so we have to take in consideration to give enough room for the tranny cooler to fit inside the end tank. And then it's fabrication time and weld it up. Okay, so the cores I get from CG&J, they're a company out of the USA. They make custom cores to any size you want, so I call them up, send them my measurements. They send me the core that meets the measurements that I need, and I haven't had any problem with them yet as far as cooling, and they've been on some really big high horsepower cars. So the fill neck and the radiator caps I run are from Vibrant Performance. I'm an authorized dealer for them. So if you're a fabricator and you're interested in these parts, you can hit me up for those. The tranny cooler that I mentioned earlier is from Northern Radiator that we're gonna fit in here. So we gotta make sure and give ample room in this tank. And then I found these guys on Instagram, and it's True Focus Fabrication out of Missoula, Montana, and they make this little drain. It's a double O-ring that you weld into the bottom for the drain, and then it has threads that you can put a petcock or a barb fitting on to drain it and not get it all over, which these are super cool. The dudes are super close to me too, and I enjoy using their stuff. So now we're gonna take and measure to make the end tanks, convert it to sheet metal, and start bending stuff up. So this is a finger brake. It's made by a company called Kaka. It has lower and upper fingers, which makes it really usable for getting into tight spaces when you're bending stuff. Right now I'm bending up the end tank, the side that won't have the tranny cooler in it, so it's pretty much blank. It has just an inlet and that's it. Super simple. So we got it all bent up and staged, ready to weld. I typically weld the intakes completely out before I weld them to the core. That way, if something doesn't go as planned, you're not cutting it off the core. So the first thing I'll do is, I got this little piece wedged in here so I can put some tacks on this, clamp it down to the table, make sure it's nice and there's a little wobble in it. So I'll clamp it down, put tacks in the corners, make sure it stays square, and then we'll weld it all out, get the core in here and slap them on the core. So this is our process on making radiators here at STL Fabrication. This specific one is still waiting on the customer to approve the fans that are going to go on here, and after that will be a fan shroud that'll be built for this, and then some mounts to mount it in the chassis of the truck. And other than that, that's kind of wraps this up.